Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. Here we are together again on the radio. A lot of paternity news here. A lot of this from the Associated Press, Dateline Miami. A former caddy for LPGA golfer, and here's the hyphen, Jackie Gallagher-Smith, is suing her, saying she seduced him in order to get pregnant. Gary Robinson says Gallagher-Smith, who is married, used him as an unwitting sperm donor. He is suing the Marion, Indiana native for an unspecified sum, claiming fraud and intentional infliction of emotional distress. No hearing date has been set for the suit filed in circuit court this week in West Palm Beach, Florida. A message for Gallagher-Smith's attorney, Edwin Bells, was not immediately returned. I wonder where Mr. Smith is in all this. Wouldn't you like to get him on the air? See how he feels about this lawsuit? That's great. Let's see. You're married. You're a public person. And you were accused of seducing your caddy at the LPGA to knock you up behind your husband's back. That's the accusation. Would love to get the husband on the air. God, I'd pay cash money for that. Earlier, the attorney told the South Florida Sun-Sentinel that the suit was, quote, an attempt at extortion. Of course, he didn't say it wasn't true. The suit says that Gallagher-Smith, 37, gave birth last month. But Florida law says a child born into a marriage is deemed to be a result of the marriage. A DNA test can't be forced, and Robinson has no legal claim to the child, said Kathy Lively, Robinson's attorney. Lively said he was being put into the position of being an unwitting sperm donor. Robinson said this has affected him professionally. He is currently out of work as a caddy and is pursuing a career as a professional golfer. He said the likelihood that I will ever get another caddying job, especially in the LPGA, that's the Lesbians Professional Golf Association, is very, very unlikely. Notice how I slipped that right by you? You weren't even paying attention. Robinson, 26, began caddying for Gallagher-Smith in February 2004, and he said soon thereafter he began receiving advances from her. He said that the relationship then became sexual about 2 months later. Robinson goes on to say that Gallagher-Smith told him she and her husband had been unsuccessful in conceiving a child. In July, she told Robinson she was pregnant and led him to believe he might be the father, the suit says. Robinson, this is the caddy, said, I hope to get retribution for the emotional pain and suffering and eventually get some rights to the child. The laws in Florida are very tough with the situation I'm in, but this suit is about financial retribution. News from the paternity front. Stories like this all the time. We always talk about them. Now, we tell our young men to be careful about women who want to get knocked up for whatever reason. I do think the most common reason women want to get knocked up is not because they want to have babies, but because a guy is non-committal. He won't call himself a boyfriend or a fiancé. He won't get married. And she thinks she can lock him down by having his baby. So she'll do whatever she can to manipulate him into having sex without a condom, or she'll say, don't worry, I'm on the pill, and then, oops, I must have forgotten today, or oops, you know, the pill's not 100% effective. Oops. Amazing for a product that's 99.95% effective. How many people accidentally get pregnant when they're on the pill? Isn't that amazing? It is, right? But I do think, secondarily, there are women out there who simply want to have a baby. They've seen any number of television programs, whether it be talk shows or plots of primetime dramas on the big networks or Lifetime or whatever, where women get into their 30s and the odometer's starting to head for 100,000 miles, and they decide they're going to have a baby with whoever impregnates them. And so they just decide that, I don't care who it is. I'm dating somebody. Maybe I have a boyfriend. Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm dating several people. I'll just be sloppy with the old birth control, and then one of these guys will end up impregnating me. Maybe they want money. Maybe they don't. I think a lot of guys out there aren't aware how common this is. How many women, especially women in their 30s, although there are women in their 20s and 40s as well who do this, I think there are a lot of guys out there who just can't believe how easy it is to get laid sometimes. Like, oh, God, she does whatever I want, wherever I want, any way I want, as much as I want, as often as I want. It's great. She says, don't worry about condoms. I'm on the bill, blah, blah, blah. It's so great. I hear guys bragging about this all the time. And I think a lot of guys have no idea that they are dealing with women who don't want to go through artificial insemination, or they're just plain sluts or whatever. And so they're out there trying to get knocked up. So this hour I want to talk to women, just women, for the benefit of the guys out there. Those of you who just can't believe your good fortune when you find a woman who just puts out and puts out and puts out. Does whatever you want, any time you want, any way you want. Lets you ride bareback. You know what I'm talking about, boys. I want to talk to the women out there who right now have decided, I'm 35 and it's time for me to have a baby. I'm 32 and I haven't met the right man yet. I'm 41. This is my last shot. You know what I'm talking about, girls. And we're hanging up on all the guys and we're opening up the phone lines just for the women who are trying to get pregnant. And we're not telling the guys, you're just trying to get pregnant. By whoever will do it. And yes, you've seen Madonna get pregnant by her ex-boyfriend. Had her first baby. And you've seen all the stars getting pregnant. You read about Julia Roberts or Gwyneth Paltrow or, the list is long. All these women who get pregnant, have babies. And you've decided, you're 35 or 32 or 36 or whatever, and you want to have a baby. And the guys dating you have no idea that this is what you're up to. So if you're a woman like that, if you are a woman who right now is looking to get pregnant by whomever, your boyfriend, the guy you're going out with Friday night, the pizza delivery guy, your caddy, or anybody else, if you're trying to get pregnant by somebody who doesn't know you're trying to get pregnant, I want to hear all about it.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM.
I don't think you're anything like your air personality.
Maybe this is just a small slice of the whole pie.
Good or bad?
I guess I have to leave that up to the rest of humanity to decide.
The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. Thank you for tuning in. And we're talking about women who want to get pregnant. You just want to get pregnant. You don't care if it's your boyfriend. You don't care if it's your husband. You don't care if it's not your husband. You don't care if it's not your boyfriend. You don't care if it's one of the 5 guys you're going to be going on a date with in the next month or so. You've decided that now is the time you're going to get knocked up. Oh, yeah. It could be that bartender who gives you the free shots all the time. You know the one. He's always flirting with you and stuff. You know, that big, good-looking, dopey guy who's always giving you the free shots. And you look at the guy and go, hey, he's a good-looking guy and all. But I can't have a conversation with him because he's such a dopey guy. And you're right, Dean. Those other guys, the doorman at your favorite club or the bouncer. Or the pizza delivery boy. Maybe you'd like to invite him and do a little trade for pizza. You know what I'm talking about. You know, this all began with that sitcom, Murphy Brown, in the 80s. Remember that show? All the controversy that erupted when the main character wanted to become pregnant, wanted to go it alone, didn't need a man around. And at the rate that women are getting knocked up who are not married these days, there's a lot of women like you out there. We know there are a lot of women like you because we hear from the guys who got... from the guys who got nailed, the guys who thought they were getting lucky and later found themselves to be victims. I'm going to tell a brief story about... Well, put it this way. She'll never admit that she wanted to do this. She'll never admit it. But I happen to believe any woman who is not using birth control wants to have a baby. You know those women I'm talking about? The women who, they tell you they're allergic to latex and they don't like the pill because it makes them fat or makes them grouchy. And they don't like Norplant because they have to insert it under your skin, and they don't like Depo-Provera because they're afraid of shots. And they've got an excuse for every single form of birth control. These are women who want to get pregnant. They are. And I'm not going to be too specific about who this is because she knows who she is, and I don't want to cause her any more problems than she could potentially have here. But there's a woman out there somewhere, and she's not somebody I dated, okay? Somebody who, let's just say I knew a friend of hers. This woman is blonde, somewhat chunky in that kind of bottle blonde, white trash kind of way. Just a little hint of beer gut poking out over the belt buckle and everything. Really tall. No, not Britney Spears. No, a lot older than Britney Spears. And I might tell you, this girl, who in my view was white trash, I might tell you that she didn't have a boyfriend at the time, but she would go out at night, like that movie I told Dino about, Looking for Mr. Goodbar. That old movie with Diane Keaton about the elementary school teacher who by day was, working with kids, and by night she was out in clubs looking to get laid. By the way, it's a kind of an interesting dated movie to rent and look at. Dean just did it last week. He just looked at it. Looking for Mr. Goodbar. So anyway, this chick would go out at night with and without her friends or her best friend. She would go out to various clubs in Orange County. She was one of these women. Ever been with a woman who knows every doorman, every bouncer, every bartender? Doesn't that make you nervous, guys? You're with a girl, and everybody knows her. I mean, every guy in these bars, Everyone. Hey, haven't seen you in a few weeks. Hey, how are you? I meant to say hello to you when you were here Wednesday, but I didn't get a chance. Hey, you know those women? They just know everybody in the bar. These are women who are consuming large quantities of alcohol that's been bought for them or given to them. They're out every night of the week. They usually have one or two DUIs. And they didn't even mind having DUIs because they go to DUI alcohol classes later on, and they meet other codependent people there and start drinking with them. It's a good place to pick up guys, those alcohol classes. So this one chick would go into bars, and literally, one thing about her is that she had these huge knockers in this big booty, okay? And there was this one bartender, a very tall, very black man, very attractive, very tall black man, bartender, who had his eye on this large piece of white meat. And he was buying her shots. And she liked to drink Jack, too. That's always a sign of trouble with a woman. She loved that Jack Daniels. And so one night it was last call, and our friend was the last person there, sipping down the last Jack Daniels. And she'd had a lot to drink. And before you could say, step and fetch it, she was behind the bar. rocking and rolling with her friend, the big black bartender. Understand, this is true trailer trash, born-again Christian trailer trash, who at the same time likes to go out drinking Jack Daniels and going into as many clubs as possible. So what happens? A few weeks later, she finds out she's pregnant. But guess what? She's also dating other guys. She does not know who the father is. Now, it's my true belief that she wanted to have a baby. There's no doubt in my mind, but she had to be drunk so she could deny it to herself and everybody else. I was drunk, I was drunk, I was drunk. I didn't mean for it to happen, I was drunk. But she's drunk every night with no birth control. I mean, what is it about a woman who gets drunk every night, no birth control, and she's dating various guys? Come on, tell me what you think she's doing. She wants to get pregnant, and she wants to say, hey, I was drunk. It's not my fault. I got really drunk, and one thing led to another. Now she's pregnant, and for 9 months, because born-again Christians don't believe in abortion. They just believe in wanton fornication with complete strangers and getting bombed at various clubs. But abortion, that would be wrong. Okay. So here she is. She's now pregnant, and she's, of course, not going to have an abortion. So for 9 months, she doesn't know what's going to come out, and so she's kind of trying not to tell people about this. You know, because she's kind of chunky anyway. It took a long time for her to show. Nobody could really tell she was pregnant for a while. Ultimately, the fateful day comes, and whoever is there in the maternity room where she's giving birth, guess what? Guess what comes out? A large, healthy, black baby. And now, Miss White Trash, born-again Christian, drinker, no birth control, has to go back and explain to the family why she had a black baby. And you notice I've not said who this is, not given out the identity, because, you know, I could give a lot of specific details that would make it really obvious if you know this person. This is a real person. All I'm going to say is this happened over 15 years ago. And this young man now is a very tall young man with very kinky hair. And when he asked his mom why they looked so different from each other, Mom said that that his dad was Jewish. Like he's a Sephardic Jew. She couldn't bear to say it was that black bartender who used to buy me the shots. So this kid's walking around telling people he's Jewish, and he believes it. But son, you are not. You're not Jewish. And I know you're out there somewhere, and for all I know, you might be listening to me right now. In fact, I'll bet there's a lot of young men out there who've wondered about this, never thought about it. By the way, this same person later got knocked up by another boyfriend. Again, no birth control. Again, drunk. You know, that was the abusive boyfriend she had the kid with later. And he was Mexican, by the way. So, bottom line on all of this is that, boys, when you go out there and you find it really easy to nail that chick behind the bar or nail that chick who's really drunk, she's like, yeah, let's do it to me, baby. Give it to me. Give it to me, daddy. Oh, I'll use a condom. Come on, I'm on the pill. You have no idea there are women out there who are trying to get laid right now who want to have your baby. So, ladies, if you are one of these people, I want you to call me right now, toll-free at 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Now, Whitney, you know somebody like this. Whitney?
Yes, sir.
You know somebody like this.
Oh, yes, I do, Tom.
Tell us the story.
Well, actually, I'm so thankful that I'm not one of these girls, but one of my good friends from high school tried to get pregnant with her boyfriend. We were, like, only 17 at the time. and she was trying to get knocked up when we were in high school, and I felt so bad for the guy. I wanted to tell him so many times, and finally he figured it out and dumped her, and so now she's a stripper sleeping with her clients, still trying to have a baby.
Now, did you ever ask her, what about artificial insemination?
I don't know what the, I'm 20 years old. I have my whole life ahead of me, and I think every woman looks forward to being a mother one day. But for girls to go out and try and be a mother when they know that they're not ready and they're, like, partying it up and whatever, it's just beyond me. I didn't even want to talk to the chick anymore.
Yeah.
It was just ridiculous.
That's the part I do not understand. I do not get it.
Yeah.
It's one thing to get artificially inseminated. I do not understand the women who just will sleep with anybody and everybody, or, the date of the week, or the boyfriend of the month, or whatever, hoping, like you're spinning the wheel of fortune, and eventually it's going to stop on baby. I don't get it.
Yeah, and then for all those guys out there that do want to be dads, they don't even get a say in it. They're just using their semen, that's it. That's all they're good for to those girls.
And you wonder, some of them might want to nail a guy down into a relationship, and that's certainly a hard bargaining way to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And some of them just want to have a baby by, I don't get it. That's why I'm asking these women to call in. I want to understand this mentality.
Yeah, with all those women that do call in that have been doing this, you guys are a class act. You guys are acting yourself, and you make all of us other women look bad. Because I look forward to having a baby one day, but with the right guy when I have a ring on my finger and we've been married a couple years and enjoyed our marriage,
Absolutely.
1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
Why can't, someone court a person anymore? It's all about getting in their pants.
It is all about getting in their pants, dear, and you know what? For men, it always has been.
The Tom Leykis Show.
1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Talking to women who don't really care how they get it done. They just want to get pregnant by whoever. Right now, Erica on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm okay.
That's great. I'm just calling because I'm dating a married man, and I'm trying to get pregnant by him, and he doesn't know.
All right, now tell us why you've chosen him and what you're doing.
I usually don't. I didn't want to get pregnant ever in my life, but for some reason, since he's married, it makes it seem more hot.
So you're doing this because you think it's hot?
Yeah. Well, not because that. I mean, we would have cute babies.
But you told me already you never wanted to have a baby.
Well, with him, I'm saying because he's hot for his age and he's married, so.
And aren't you worried about how complicated that would make it for a child you would produce? Do you give a rat's ass about that kid?
No.
You don't care?
No, I care. I mean, it wouldn't be complicated. I wouldn't do that.
What do you mean it wouldn't be complicated? You mean you wouldn't tell him? You wouldn't tell him?
Why would it be complicated?
I'm asking you if you'd tell him.
Yeah, I would tell him.
He's a married man.
I know.
You're going to ask him for child support?
I'm dating him, so, I mean, he would just be there to take care of him.
What makes you think he'll do that?
Because I know he loves me.
It doesn't. If he loves you, he would get divorced and be with you.
He's trying. He's going there.
How hard is that?
It costs a lot of money. He has kids already.
It's going to cost a lot of money whether you have a baby or not.
I know, but I'm not telling you I'm having a baby with him.
Dear, now, can I tell you something? As a man who's been married and divorced 4 times, for a very bad boy, who has, while married, been with women like you, let me tell you something. If that were me, and I refused to get a divorce, I told you it was too expensive, I didn't feel like doing it.
Well, that's what he's telling me.
I know that's what he's telling you, dear, but I'm telling you, see, you're not inside his head. I've been there. Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He's never going to leave his wife for you.
Okay.
Oh, you're so sure about this?
I'm positive.
He'd leave her now.
He would, but it's too expensive.
Well, yeah, but all right. So what happens? You're pregnant. When you're pregnant, you're going to tell him, and then you think he's going to put up with all the expense and the trouble?
Yeah.
Well, why do you think that?
Because if you knew who he was, then you'd understand why he would do that.
Well, then why wouldn't he do it now? If he really loved you, I mean, you wouldn't have to get pregnant.
It's called money, sweetie. He can't afford it right now.
Yeah, but he's not going to be able to... If you got pregnant next week, he's not going to be able to afford it any better than he can now.
Well, I get paid pretty good, so if he doesn't want to, I can do it myself.
You don't even care, though, about the baby itself.
Yeah, I do.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so what are you going to do, quit your job to raise a child?
No.
Who's going to pay for this child?
He is, and I am.
But you already told me he can't afford what he has now.
No, he can't afford to go through a divorce.
Yeah, you think he can afford another kid?
Have a baby.
You think he can afford paying you child support in addition to all the other things he's doing?
No, he won't know. I'll just dump the kid on him. Hello? That's why I'm not telling him.
Hang on a second here, Erica. Eric, what did you want to say to Erica?
Hey, Tom, what's up, buddy?
Not much, Eric.
Hey, yeah, I can't remember her first name. That shows how important
Erica.
she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Erica.
No. I mean, look, Erica, you make this Hilton chick that's on The Simple Life look like a Mensa candidate. You are about the most idiotic moron that I've ever heard.
I'm not even blonde. I'm not
You know
even
what?
blonde.
You're in this for the money, and that's it. You see a married guy, you got him on the hook because of that thing between your legs, and you think you can get away with this crap? I hope he nails your ass to the wall.
You're a smart guy.
You know what? You give the rest of the women out there a bad name because of the greedy, idiotic person that you are. Do you have any idea how bad you sound on the radio? You sound like you know what? My 16-year-old daughter is more intelligent than you are. How old are you anyway?
I am 19.
Okay, so you're not much older than my daughter, but you know what? You got the mentality of a 6-year-old.
Thank you.
I can't believe that you're stupid enough to come on the air and admit this. You sound about as intelligent.
I got bigger balls than you. That's why.
I doubt that, sweetheart, but that's okay. You can think whatever you want. You just go ahead and live in your You just go ahead and live in your delusional world and think whatever you want. You know what? If this guy's stupid enough to be with you, the only thing you are is a piece of ass to him. He doesn't care about you. He loves you. How high are you? I mean, come on, really. This is a married man with a family. You're just a piece of ass on the side. That's it.
All right. Good job. Thank you.
And he's using every line I and every other man use. Oh, you know, I'd love to be with you, but it's so expensive to get a divorce. It takes so much time. I mean, I'd really rather be with you, but, you know, every line every married man ever used has been used on you, Erica.
That's exactly it. And if you're too stupid to figure that out, then you got a lot of growing up to do, sweetheart. You got a lot of growing up to do.
And she thinks it's funny, Eric.
Oh,
yeah, it's hilarious. I'm sorry.
But you know what, Tom? That just shows her intelligence level.
That's
my point.
Level.
What was that, Erica?
That shows my intelligence level. No, I was agreeing with you. Good job. Keep going. Go ahead.
You know what? I don't got anything else to say to you.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, it's comical listening to you, but there's only so much I can say to you. Tom,
thank you.
Do me a favor and blow me up, buddy.
Here you go, Eric. It's the Tom Leykis Show. This is Edgar. Say hello to Erica.
What's up, Dad?
Not much, son.
Is this the dumbest broad I've ever heard of in my life? If her husband or her lover, if she wants to have a kid with this guy, there's no way he could get a divorce. It's so expensive. What makes this dumb broad believe that he could afford it when he gets divorced and has a kid?
She hung up there, Edgar, but that'll have to remain a rhetorical question and a good one at that. It's the Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. Thank you for tuning in. We're talking about women who are trying to get pregnant. Oh, it doesn't matter who does it. Just has to get done. Wondering if there's anybody like that you know, or if it's you. Warren on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. How you doing?
Doing okay.
I got a bit of a story for you.
Yes, sir.
I've had custody of my daughter since she was about 5 years ago. She turns 18 tomorrow. She's moving out of the house so she can hang out with her boyfriend that we disapprove of and get pregnant. Doesn't want to finish high school, doesn't want to go to college, just wants to settle down and have babies.
Oh, my God. She's how old?
She'll be 18 tomorrow.
All right, but of course, you had her at 21.
I actually had her at 20. Yes, I did.
All right, so where do you think she learned this behavior?
She learned it between me and her mother, but I've smartened up a little bit. Her mother condones this. Her mother actually wants this to happen.
How old was her mother when this happened?
Let's see. Well, her and I had our first child together when I was 19 and she was 18.
Okay. So, you see, I hope everybody is noticing that kids look up to their parents as role models, no matter how bad a role model you are.
Exactly.
They will do what you did, and you have no credibility trying to say, don't do what I did.
Understandable. I realize that. I know I made a mistake listening to your program for a long time now. I'm trying to get her to see that she's making a mistake too. Trying to break that pattern, break that cycle.
Well, she thinks she's just fine, and there's your wife goading her on.
Yeah, she's my ex-wife now.
Oh, your ex-wife.
Yeah, we've been divorced for quite a few years.
She'd like to be a 37-year-old grandmother?
That's what she's going to be.
Yep.
Wonderful. Thought I'd let you know that one up here in Seattle again.
Of course it's in Seattle or Portland. That's the deal.
That's right. Okay, well, blow me up, Tom.
Here you go, Warren. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Carissa on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Dad, what's up?
Nah, doing okay, dear.
Oh, my gosh. That girl, Erica, she must have been really hot, because you said hot girls are insecure. She really wants a baby.
Yup.
How sad. Let me tell you a story. I'm 28. I have no kids. I don't really want to have any kids. I have 2 dogs and 2 cats. But on the other hand, I do have a sister-in-law who has a great story. She's with my brother. He already has a little kid, about 4. She gets pregnant and says,
By the way, was your brother married to the mother of that kid?
Oh, they're still married, yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that like totally Jerry Springer or what?
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So he's still married to the other estranged wife. And this girlfriend gets pregnant and says, oh, I didn't know birth control didn't work when you were taking antibiotics. Yeah, right. She's too smart for that. So now she's got a 1-year-old, and she's every other week bitching about my brother, like we care. You know, just always has something to say. But she's got this baby who she just says she loves so much, but yet allows my brother to treat her like crap and the kids. So another example of people, these people shouldn't have kids. They're so stupid. They are selfish. They don't give a damn. Can I say that?
Yep.
They don't care about the baby. They only care about themselves.
That's
Why don't they go get a dog? Or a cat? A cat's way more low maintenance than a baby. Come on.
Well, that's true. No doubt about it.
Yeah, you can...
Of course, I know somebody's training their baby to use the litter box, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, that would. But, I mean, geez, you can leave a cat at home overnight. It's not going to care. It's going to keep itself company. But a baby, that's 24/7 for at least 18 years.
Oh.
Unless they turn to be a loser like the parents, and then they end up staying at home longer.
Yeah, well, this problem keeps repeating itself. I hope people notice that. We've had enough of those calls on this show.
The Tom Leykis Show.